latest episode of Real Time with Bill Maher. He gave his take on the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Take a look.
Politics in this country is binary. You have to wear everything anyone on your side does. Republicans are the party of don't wear masks, kids in cages, lock her up, and Democrats are the party of every hypersensitive social justice warrior woke story in the news.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to.
Whoopi attacks me on a regular basis. She says stupid shit on a regular basis. They just happen to coincide. But can I just say this? I had on last week.
Joy Behar just got obliterated by Bill Maher, and the internet is having a meltdown. Many are cheering Maher's BR roast of Behar agreeing. It's high time someone handed her a
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous job.
We won't bore you with the whole thing, but in a nutshell, Behar is taking a swing at Caroline Leavitt's intelligence because that's what the Harpies on The View do. According to Behar Leavitt, she was only appointed by Donald Trump as the new press secretary because she's a size 10, because she obviously enjoys world qualifications are measured in dress sizes, which is ironic considering Behar has been delivering bad takes and absurd views for decades, and no one has asked her for credentials. Even when her co-host Elisa reminded her of Lit's qualifications, and Portfolio Bear decided to ignore her. Of course, this riled Bill Maher, and here's his classic response.
But isn't it interesting that it's called, I don't think they meant this when Barbara Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's The View.
Well,
that's the problem in America.
But
there is one view,
right, and
one
that's clearly
true opinion, and everybody else can go.
You can't just love Bill Maher any less because he says it as it is. Ma points out the problem with The View. The name alone tells you everything. It's not a view or multiple views. It's The View because apparently theirs is the only one that matters. Every other opinion is nonsense that isn't even worth acknowledging. And like clockwork, Joy Behar is leading the effort, shutting down everything that doesn't match the authorized narrative, even in their own echo chamber of a program that Behar can't tolerate. Elisa Farah Griffin has a different perspective on Caroline Litt's nomination as press secretary because in Joy's world, disagreeing with her isn't just immoral, it's blasphemous.
In this country is binary. You have to wear everything anyone on your side does. Republicans are the party of don't wear masks, kids in cages, lock her up, and Democrats are the party of every hypersensitive social justice warrior woke story in the news. They're the party that disappears people or tries to make them apologize for ridiculous.
Bill Maher isn't just roasting Joy Behar, he's torching the entire Democratic Party while he's at it. And honestly, he's spot on. If the Democrats had appointed Caroline Leavitt, Behar would be leading the standing ovation, gushing about Litt's brilliance, poise, and unparalleled eloquence, probably throwing in some over-the-top speech about how she's the future of America. But since Leavitt got the job under Trump, none of that matters anymore. Now it's all about her dress.
Is she really a 10? We'll be right back.
I noticed Jesse was a 7.
Joy Behar calls her a 10. I mean, how dare she objectify a woman with a sexist rating system, but it's such a typical thing from a 1.5.
What a searing attack from Gutfeld, and he is completely accurate. Joy Behar did objectify Caroline Leavitt by attributing her success to her beauty, because obviously, women can't possibly thrive on merit unless they're Democrats. Honestly, if someone had said the same thing about a woman on the left, they would have gone full meltdown, shrieking about sexism and demanding they be canceled. But here's where it gets fascinating. The same mob that supports Day, which, let's be honest, wants optics over competence, suddenly doesn't see a problem when they're the ones reducing a woman to her appearance. Levitt, on the other hand, is at the White House confidently handling press briefings like a pro, proving she knows her stuff, but instead of acknowledging her competence, Behar chooses petty insults. Perhaps she's just jealous, which is exactly Gutfeld's point. According to him, Behar is 1.5 light years away from a 10, and that's probably why she went after Levi in the first place.
She's the ever-empowering feminist joy herself, everyone. And this is why, of course, she's on The View and not working for the most powerful man in the world, because Caroline would wipe the floor with you bitter banshees anyway.
This journalist just verified our theory. Joy Behar is probably seething with jealousy. After all, Caroline Levitt is working for the world's most powerful president, while Behar is still yelling over cackling co-hosts on a daytime talk show. In Behar's mind, Levitt is some rookie who hasn't earned the right to hold such a high position because apparently experience only counts when it benefits her side of the aisle. But here's what Behar conveniently ignores. It's not about age. It's about brains, capability, and, dare we say, competence. Levitt has all three, which is what actually burns Behar. If Levitt were a 25-year-old liberal Behar, would be hailing her as a trailblazing icon for young women instead, because Levitt dares to think independently, she's reduced to nothing more than her looks now. If you think we're making this up, here's Joy Behar calling people sexist simply for not enjoying Kamala Harris's cackles. Yep, you...
What really ticks me off about him, though, is this laughing Kamala remark. It's such a sexist remark, because a guy I was with over the weekend, a friend of mine, they said Kamala's laugh annoys me. Remember they said that about Hillary's laugh, that she was cackling. And men, you know, they don't like a funny woman. We're afraid if you laugh or you make a joke, that maybe you'll do that when they're in bed with you. It's like this fear.
What?
Don't be surprised that the ladies on The View have some of the weirdest takes in America. It's practically their brand at this point. Sometimes we can't help but wonder if they just pull these bizarre claims out of a hat. For example, how does Behar come to the conclusion that disliking a woman's laughter means you're afraid of women? Does that even sound scientific? Or did she just throw words together and hope no one would question it? No surprise, Ben Shapiro spotted the silliness of her comments and called her out on it.
If you don't like Kamala Harris's weird cackling, it's because you fear her in the boudoir?
Huh?
That's a theory there, Joy. I feel like, given her personal history, I mean, Willie Brown and all, that's probably not what people are thinking about Kamala Harris when they are thinking about that type of activity, but sure, go with that.
Ben pointed out the clear people's hate for Kamala. Harris's laughing has nothing to do with sexism or a deep-seated fear of women. It's just that her laugh is objectively terrible, and not everything is a grand plot against women. Sometimes people simply find an uncomfortable, misplaced cackle irritating, startling, right? Of course, the woke mob can't accept such a basic fact, so they have to twist it into yet another ISM sexism. Racism, choose your pick, since that is their playbook. If you don't applaud like a seal at every element of their chosen figures, you're a bad person. I despise a laugh. Misogyny, criticize a policy bigot, prefer your coffee black white supremacists. It's all part of the same ridiculous scheme. Slap. A woke-approved label on any critique, no matter how ludicrous, so they can quiet opposition and keep pushing their agenda, since if they actually had to discuss their views, everything would start falling apart.